It's already 5 a.m.
You entered access code 9460888.
Should I start? It's 5 a.m. Good morning. So rise. It's already 5 a.m. Let's begin our Hoon Dok Hae by offering one standing bow to our beloved true parents. 하나님과 champumanbe, Zagery Kimbe, Baro, our most beloved heavenly parents, today, the 3rd of April, 2014, here at Washington Family Church, we pray that from here in the United States and all over the world, we pray for victory of our true parents, our true mother in Hawaii, and our true father who's watching us from the spirit world. We pray for their true children, that they too will be well attended to by our brothers and sisters who are serving them, the true grandchildren, and first generation couples and second generation and even the third generation. We pray for good health and unity, and also we pray that there will be victory in whatever work or mission that our members are doing today. And we pray for the leaders in the world headquarters in Seoul, Korea, that they receive all our reports of Sunday with the UPF chairman, Dr. Chang Shik-hyun, and all the international vice presidents, including Reverend Thomas Wong, his staff and his family. And we pray as well for all the continental leaders in Europe, in Africa, even down in South America, and here in North America. We pray for Archbishop Hoon Kim. We pray for his success always, that he can reach his goal this month and this year. And we pray as well for all the presidents of all the headquarters of the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification. And we pray for the headquarters in America, which is led by our president, Reverend and Dr. Michael Balcom, his staff and his family. We pray that we can propagate their interactive service, DP Live Info, and we pray also that we can show their new magazine, The Deeper Life, to our friends, our relatives, and we pray that we can always interact with all our invited guests through this interactive service, and we pray that we can follow them up through the DP Life info, and we pray that we can always follow all the directions from the headquarters, and we pray for all the districts and regions all over the world, especially here in District 1. We pray for our director, Reverend Ernest and Keiko Pata, and we pray for all the pastors and center leaders that they too will be successful today and they can reach their goals. And we pray for the Mid-Atlantic area in Norfolk. We pray for Reverend Kira Ota, and in Richmond, Virginia, we pray for Father Adrian Bayer and his congregation there, and we pray also for Towson, Maryland. We pray for Reverend James Stewart and his wife Aunt Tilly, and we pray for Northern Virginia here in the Beltway, which is led by Ms. June, and we pray for the Maryland area. We pray for Reverend Dylan Stevens and his wife and co-pastors like Ms. Jones, and we pray for the Washington Family Church with our own pastor, Reverend Zagery Oliver, his wife Wasana and daughter Brianna, our new council, and all our members who are still struggling to come in at the right time every Sunday. We pray that all of us can unite with our pastor and unite with God's will, that we can start always on time, and we pray for the success of everyone who is listening always to our Hoon Dok Hae, that they'll be healing and success in whatever things that they do today. And we pray all of this in all our names. In my name, Athanasius Francis C. Catalan, blessed Central Family, Aju, Aju, Aju. Good morning. We're now on page 435. Where be the meaning and purpose of the third mobilization. If Kim Il-sung stands in the position of the fallen Satan, then organizing and solving the problems of North Korea can be accomplished only when women stand at the front line. Because fallen Eve gave birth to fallen Cain and Abel, represented by North and South Korea. When all housewives and mothers are mobilized and bring two children together, fathers must step into the situation. Their husbands must stand right behind them. In this way, the original Adam is restored. This is the view of the principle. Then, the purpose of the mobilization of women at this time is the liberation of Kim Il-sung of North Korea. The birthright was taken away by Satan, but it happened because Eve fell first and gave birth to the first son in that fallen state, and therefore a mother must become responsible to take the initiative to restore the birthright through her son. Her husband is in Cain's position, and her son is Abel. When the mother becomes one with her son, who is Abel, and her husband will follow. If it happens this way, restoration is accomplished. That's why sons and husbands are naturally mobilized when wives are mobilized. For this reason, we mobilize women in families. What does this mobilization of women mean? Father has blessed the second generation centering on the vertical standard of Cain and Abel. From the viewpoint of the standard of the blessing of the second generation. Families have a horizontal Cain and Abel relationship in the satanic world. Mobilizing women in blessed families extend the vertical standard into the horizontal Cain and Abel relationships in the family. Satan works at night. We mobilize so that we can open up the foundation upon which we can work at night. Do you understand? We're now on page 436. This is the historical last mobilization. If we win it, the liberation movement of women will emerge. Do you understand completely? Do you understand the significance of the mobilization of families? Yes. The standard goal of our efforts for this battle is the digestion of the breakthrough of the districts. If we can only digest it, the unification of North and South Korea is not so difficult. We can unify it. If we can digest the breakthrough of the districts, who is going to stand at the front line? Women must do so, not men. Kim Il-sung is the archangel on the satanic side. The archangel tempted a woman and made everything his own territory. The archangel, therefore, women of Korea must chase Kim Il-sung out. Without the help of men, women must do it. Therefore, this time, women of the Unification Church will be mobilized around early June. What are they going to do? A woman left the bosom of God, centered on her fallen sons and daughters. Now, women will make effort to attend the standard of the new original father and husband, while at the same time holding on to her blessed sons and daughters. Now, North Korea is forming underground organizations in South Korea in order to invade it. Who is nurturing the members of the underground organizations? Women. Women, housewives of the North Korean families. The underground organizations are formed by families. Satan is establishing his foundation in families. Ladies have been mobilized and sent out this time in order to establish the base in the districts and the sections of the areas. Whether you can do things well or not is not the problem. You must become persons in charge of opening the path through which people can assist from outside. Do you understand why I am talking about? Yes. Today, women of blessed families have been mobilized in order to set the indemnity conditions representing the world. Do you understand? Yes. This is my third visit. The third visit after I came out of Danbury. Housewives of blessed families must mobilize and educate all mothers of the families in Korea so that they can love the nation. Do you understand what I am talking about? In this sense as well, women must be mobilized. We are not religious fanatics. We must save the country. Those who do not want to do it, you can leave. You do not have to become members of the Unification Church. Do you have a capability to say, "What? Fanatics? I have the same heart of parents who love sons and daughters. If you lose the country, do you know what will happen to your sons and daughters and my sons and daughters? Either they become members of the communist parties or they will be killed with their knives." In this sense, we must mobilize families and create mothers who can love the country. We're now on page 437. These mothers must educate their children as sons and daughters who love the country. Guide their husbands through the right path. Women must become such mothers and correct their families. If you do so, new buds will sprout and they will grow from there. When they grow and spread all over the place, Korea will become the heavenly kingdom of well-being, and sons and daughters of Korea will become the leaders who can lead the world one day. Those who oppose members of the Unification Church, saying that they are religious fanatics, will eventually be led to the same place where the members of the Unification Church are going. In fact, things will soon become that way. When communists carry out their underground activities, in most cases, mothers in the home gave them assistance. The reason why we mobilize women of the Unification Church is to give clear ideological education to these women. Our sisters can meet these women 24 hours a day at any time. When husband comes back home, they can knock on the back door and ask the wife to come out. They can talk there. If the doors are closed, they can go through the back gates behind the yard of the house. How easily they can come and go. They have the foundation to communicate 24 hours a day. Father had given the direction not only to you, but also to Japanese members who went back the day before yesterday. Father theoretically explained to them that the present time was what the necessary path would be for the sake of the future of Japan. What would have to be done in every street and corner of Japan. We will do the same not only in Korea, but also in Japan and in all other countries. Wherever there is a Unification Church in the world, Father wants to push Korea to accomplish this first. Members of Korea have to do this first, don't they? Isn't it right? Yes. The birthplace of my thought is the land of Korea. Father is the teacher of the Unification Church, who loves Korea. So Father wants Korea to do anything first before it is done in other countries. Father cannot but ask you who are in Korea to do these things first, and Father is grateful for your willingness to take part of the responsibility. You should not be outdone by members in other countries. The women are doing preparatory activities now. If wives and sons and daughters as well all say, Father, please sign here. Doesn't he sign? Won't the family join the family or the Federation of Nations for the unification of North and South? From now on, you must devote yourselves and accomplish the unification of North and South. Even if you regret doing so, husbands and wives must forget about one another and sacrifice their families. In order to be qualified to enter well into the spirit world, you and your wives must receive the indemnity at the forefront of the tribe. Father mobilized you last year so that you could become qualified in front of the tribe. This was a speech from January 7, 1988, and we're now on page 438. Let us see our attitude to participate in the third mobilization. Facing the mobilization, you must not have any selfish mind. Your family and workplace should not be an obstacle for you to go to the front line. You must march forward for the sake of the nation, for the sake of the restoration of the unified nation. If we can find and establish the unified nation, the homeland, the unification of democratic world and the communist world, and the unification of East and West will take place. Looking at the reality of Korea, although we all desire Korea to be a good country, the real position of Korea is not good. All of you must be anxious about it, right? If the reality of the nation is not good, can a society which exists within the sphere of the nation be good, or can it be bad? There are more bad things in the society, aren't they? Therefore, don't hang on to the evil things, but stay with the good things. If the society is bad, how about the religious organizations? Both organizations and companies are under the attack of evil influences. Throughout the history of Korea, have women represented the nation and said, follow and learn from us. Korea will die unless she goes in this way. We must build Korea as a nation which has a great hope in the future. Have women ever stood in front of society with such a sincere heart? Having said this, you will understand that women of the Unification Church are superior. That's why you must be grateful. Since you met Father, you have been given opportunity to do such great work under God's will. You must go out and love Cain's sons and daughters more than your own sons and daughters. Have you understood this or not? Without doing so, you cannot change them. You must go through such a path and love them to the point that they will say, please love your own sons and daughters instead of us, because they are people whom we want to attend. Do you understand? You must not be anxious about your beloved ones, your sons and daughters. Once you left for the way of God's will, forget all completely. be it your husband or your children. Think that the only place you can be is in Cain's world. You must love sons and daughters of Cain's world and set the standard of Cain-Abel restoration for the indemnity in front of your sons and daughters. Therefore, you must restore their parents. By doing so, your husband can stand next to you, and you can take your sons and daughters and lead them along with the families and the children on Cain's side to the heavenly kingdom. You can accomplish the restoration of Canaan. You, women, do you understand? Yes. Can you say these things when you go to the local regions? When someone says, why do you have we do such things? Why does Reverend Moon ask families to split, arrange and send women all over the country? Why does he ask us to do such a thing? How will you answer? You must reply the way I just did. You must explain to them about the fall of man and tell them that now is the final time for restoration. We're now on page 439. These women who will go out this time will become, without question, the leaders in their towns. Even if you live in Seoul, you will surely become an influential figure in the reign or in the region. Leadership roles will be occupied by all of you. Father knows that you now are carrying a signboard on your back, which reads that you must do all the education in that region, including that of children. Don't you like it? The answer was, we like it. That is good. One person shows and guides the way to go for all people, for all those who are suffering in chaos and confusion. They are liberated and so happy. God is joyful in heart by seeing all these scenes. This should be the attitude and heart which God's sons and daughters must have. What do you think? Is that right or not? That is right. In this sense, sweat when you work hard for business, do extra work at night. Whatever you do with decisive commitment. Those who try to die will live, and those who try to live will die. At this point, we depart with the absolute commitment without thinking about our own life and death. From now on, if you go to your assigned area and hide the fact of being a member of the Unification Church, you will not prosper. If you lie, there will be consequences. Heaven will punish you. Heaven cannot smite Satan while leaving you unpunished. Therefore, be courageous in your assigned place. How high do you think is the authority of the members of the Unification Church? Do you know? Why are you walking through the streets? You must reign there as the queen. When you go out into the streets, all women there must learn from you. You must live with dignity and authority so that you can straighten them and correct the bottom of their skirts. Don't become a woman who goes around the streets seeking smelly stuff. Observe the right norms and norms of the heavenly principles. Be and live with dignity, so that all existence in the cosmos will praise you and say that they must follow you. You must live in that position. Do you understand? We are now standing in the front line. You, women in particular, must meet the expectation of heaven and the true parents, centering on God's love, which is the ideal of creation and the center of the house of unification. You are standing in the frontal position, centering on God's will, in which you overview the realm of God's love. Don't lose the dignity, which means all the expectations. Don't become a shameful person in front of your responsibility for the mission, which God is watching with expectation, and the whole of existence is desiring vertically and horizontally. You must become a person who can fulfill the responsibility without any regret and shame in front of your mission. Number your properties in the order from the best on down. Sell the best things first and use that money for the sake of the nation. Devote yourself for the sake of your nation. When you shed sweat and tears and do your activities with the commitment of making yourself the offering, you may use money. You are free from satanic accusations. Therefore, you must offer heavenly material things, heavenly sons and daughters, and husband and wife. When you offer all, they are connected to the realm of heart, unless you establish the foundation of having offered the entire family in front of heaven, the resurrected family, the family which is connected with heavenly love, cannot emerge. Now it's 5:31. We ended up on page 440. Tomorrow we'll be reading letter D, husband's responsibility after the mobilization of wives. And we started today on page 435 with the topic, the meaning and the purpose of the third mobilization. So is there anyone who wants to share about our reading today? Anyone?
Good morning. This is Diane.
Yes, Diane.
Everyone. You really feel such a sense of pride when Father talks about Korea and this mobilization. It seems like he really feels sharing a joy with us, an enthusiasm for the original meaning of significance of that place and the condition that is being offered. Thank you.
Yes, Diane. So, anybody else? So, as we read today, they will not happen only in Korea, but also in other countries. And in fact, he was talking about Japan also, that they need to do it, and all other countries, but they start first in Korea. Anyone else?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Ewa-san.
Without the help of men, women must undergo none. How is nurturing the members of the underground organization, women, housewives of North Korean families. Housewives of black families must mobilize and educate all mothers of the families in Korea so that they can love the nation. With the capability to say, I have the same heart of parents who love sons and daughters. If you love the country, do you know what will happen to our sons and daughters? If we lose the country, do you know what will happen to our sons and daughters and my sons and daughters? Either they become members of Communist parties or they will be killed with their knives.
Yeah.
When communists carry out the underground activities, in most cases, mothers in their homes give them assistance. The reason why we mobilize women of the Unification Church is to give clear ideological education to these women. And I didn't know that, like Father said, that because in North Korea send many spies, right, to the south. So Father said mostly women, right? They
Women.
Right. Yeah. So Father said that we really have to. The reason Father wanted to educate those housewives through our like wives and I really like what Father said here. I have the same heart of parents who love sons and daughters. If we lose the country, you know what will happen to the sons and daughters, or my sons and daughters? Either they become members of communist parties, or they will be killed with their knives. And the Father is really so real. He really, even send out those pictures, right, that he made them clear. How important, it is the women in the family. They can either go good way or bad way. So I can really feel Father's heart. Like for the sake of the nation, these women have to educate, the Korean women not to go in the wrong way, because otherwise the nation will be lost and all the children, well, educated by those wives will be lost. So, thank you so much. Yeah, that was kind of real level.
Yeah, thank you, Wasana. Anybody else?
Yeah, Francis, this is Randy.
Yes, Randy, good morning.
Morning. Just one thing that came to mind when you were reading, actually what Ava was just reading, the same thing about the North Korean women. What interesting phenomena that has been going on for the last several years, probably at least the last 10 years or more, is the defections out of North Korea. And I think a majority, I don't have any numbers, but I think a majority of the defectors are women escaping North Korea. I wish I did have numbers, but just that the only thing that testimonies and things that I've read are mostly from women. So kind of interesting that Father says that the North Korean women were nurturing these spying activities in the South. That's on the Kane side, but on the Able side, they were defecting and getting away from North Korea and escaping it. And, talking about the horrors going on in North Korea. So, Father's mobilization of women has far-reaching effects. And another sort of interesting thing that has happened in Korea was the election of its first woman president, and whose sister is a member and is blessed. So again, all these seeds that Father has sown are bearing fruit, and I think that we need to continue to sow and harvest in order to expand Father's foundation. That's what came to my mind this morning when we were reading it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Randy. Anybody else? Okay, further in page 437 about these North Korean women, and they are forming underground organizations in South Korea in order to invade it. And when communists carry out their underground activities, in most cases mothers in the home give them assistance. The reason why we mobilize women of the Unification Church is to give clear ideological education to these women. our sisters can meet these women 24 hours a day at any time. When the husband comes back home, they can knock on the back door and ask the wife to come out. They can talk there. If the doors are closed, they can go through the back gates behind the yard of the house. How easily they can come and go. They have the foundation to communicate 24 hours a day. So that's how important it is to educate, these women who are being influenced by communists. So that's why our blessed wives have this mission. Not only in Korea, I think it's all over the world. So is there anybody who wants to share about their reading today? So if there's none, let's all rise and have unison prayer. Our most beloved Heavenly Parents, we are so grateful that we are inside this history where ourselves, our wives, our sisters, in the Unification Church are being mobilized to go back to their hometowns and go to the mission area. We pray that not only the hometowns that we are given in Korea, but also our own hometowns, we can go back to our townmates and really discuss with them, especially about the world affairs that is really showing and unveiling itself in North and South Korea. We pray that more and more of our sisters and even brothers are really now embracing a headwind thought or the ideology of believing in God instead of not believing in God. We pray that communism will be eradicated all over the earth. We pray that each country all over the world will embrace God and really pay homage to our true parents. We pray that we can teach them also all the unification thought and the divine principle. We pray that this battle would really mean a victory for all of us as more and more people will join the kingdom of heaven here on earth, the Chung Il Guk. And we pray that as we encourage more of our sisters and even brothers to go to their hometowns in Korea, and we pray for our also hometowns that it will be not infested by leftist people, but also people who believe in God. And we pray that our wives will really do the same and really be courageous enough to really be like a queen who can have dignity and can influence the whole town by their works. And we pray that we can support our wives to go to their hometowns. And we pray all of this in all our names and in my name, Athanasius Francis de Catalan, blessed central family. Aju, aju, aju. 우리의 소원은 통일, 구매로 소원은 통일, 이모 손바쳐서 통일, 통일이여 오라. 이 교회 산이는 통일, 이 나라 찬데 통일, 통일이요 소라. 통일이요 오라. Good morning to you, our beloved true parents of heaven and earth and humankind. Good morning to the true children, and good morning to all the members of the Unification Church, our brothers and sisters. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Reverend Oliver.
morning.
Good morning, Diane, everybody.
Brother Francis, does everyone know the hours for the workshop on Sunday?
I'm not so sure about the workshop. I think Reverend Oliver is there, and it will be announced. I think it's after or during, supposed to be the Sunday service itself at the time, because I think Reverend Oliver?
Yes, we didn't announce the exact time, but we'll be doing Sunday service probably around now. Okay.
It'll include
Find
these.
it out.
So stay tuned. Before Friday, I think they'll set the time, our council, and yes.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, Diane. Have a great and wonderful Thursday. Bye-bye.